right. All right. All right. All right. Shalom. Shalom and shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely evening going into the Sabbath. We have entered into the Sabbath. And I, Sister Deborah, say it is a lovely Sabbath in which the Most High Yah has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. I'm coming with a message, and hopefully it'll be a short message. And it's just a message to speak on the word being set up in the parable as a seed. The word being set up in a parable as the seed. And in that, it revealed many, many, many things unto me. When I think of part of what is the fruit of the Spirit, you have to consider the seed. So as I was reading chapter 8 of Luke, chapter 8, and I got a real good feel for something I never really considered. But it's really deep, you guys. It is really deep. And I was like, ooh, that's good. And here it is. I wasn't going to come on live, but because he was teaching me around about 6:30 into 7, I said, that's a really good thing. I never seen it like that, Father, y'all. So one thing I can truly say about the Holy Spirit, it is a teacher 24/24. He don't come in and begin to teach you when you're ready or when you're reading the instruction and direction Bible, or when you're writing in your Psalms, or when you're thinking about Him, or you are praying. The way the Father teaches is so awesome because it's never your time. It's always His time. If it's Him that's going to be the teacher, you would think He will be the one to set up the timing. And He does an awesome job at it. An awesome job, because I was sitting here watching a YouTube, and I was thinking about what I'm going to do later on tonight, as far as what I'm going to watch, and so on. And he was saying the seed is the word, Deborah. So let's read that. So I read it and I was like, but Father, many don't know about that. You see what I'm saying? And also, where he really blessed me, he taught me something, and he blessed me at the same time, because he informed me. Because I had finished a little study, I decided to bring the dog in, and in that process, I was going through the back door. He said to me, Deborah, you're teaching. It's like seeds. Wow. Because you're not planting the world in people. You're planting seeds. And I thought about the disciples that came to him and was questioning him about that parable of the sower. And I thought about that. And I said, wow, this is the reason why you said, greater is those who are able to believe, to understand the word and the parables. You know why? Because those who believe the both is truly anointed ones of the Most High Yah. Because there are 99.9 leaders and pastors that cannot break down the parables. When as a teenager, I could. But when I had gotten to the point where I heard about the sower and the seed, I'm trying to figure out how's that parable? What's wrong with that sower? Why is he sowing seeds in all the wrong places? And found out that the sower was Yah. And Yah was planting seeds, which is his word, in all places. We're going to get into that. And it's going to show you something you really never knew. It's going to be very interesting. That just as he poured it out to me this evening, I was like, okay, I'll go and do a video on that one, Father, because that's a really good one, you know. And then when I took the dog out, he said, and you know what you know how you be teaching? I said, yeah, He said, that's seed. You are actually planting seeds out there, Deborah. You are actually planting seeds. They don't know it. And that's you laboring in the vineyard. They don't know it, but you're actually doing the work of the Most High Yah. And when he said that to me, it was just like, oh, that's my Papa. That's my Papa. And it was. It just made me just, that's why I feel the way I feel about him. That's why I would never try to stab him in the back and make him not be who he is, who he was, and who he's going to be. If I can't put him on the highest pedestal, I don't want to put him nowhere. And I'm not going to, in the name of no one. He's going to either go on the highest of the highest pedestal, or he ain't going on there. And that's where I, myself, can't see him nowhere, but it's on outside of the highest of the highest. So I just thank him for that, because he didn't have to say that, but he did. I thought that was so sweet to just turn and say to me, you know what you be saying on YouTube, Deborah? What you be teaching? That's what you doing. You planting seeds. I was like, oh my goodness, that's my Papa. That's my Papa. Praise the Most High, Yah. Yes, Father, Yah. And I thank him for that. So I just even thank him for allowing me to come before you at this time, just to bring something to leave with you, so when you wake up tomorrow, you can visit the instructions and direction, and how would I say it? Replay this video and just go over it. If you don't catch it today, don't mean you ain't gonna get it tomorrow. Okay. So I'm coming out of Luke. Hello in the live chat. It's good to see you. I'm coming out the book of Luke, chapter 8, and I'm going to start with verse 4. And I want you to hear Yeshua dealing with the apostles and the multitude, okay? And showing also you the difference between the two. And this is another reason why I speak so bold and I stand so firm in what I say, in the way I teach, the way I bring out food. I place it right where it needs to be, on the plate. You eat it or you eat not, you know. And even that was mentioned in this here Luke 8. You know, I even saw a little error there as well. But I saw it, but then I thought about who he was talking to. So that's why that error was probably placed there, because to where it can be clearly seen. But we're going to deal with that. Let's go to the Luke chapter 8 and verse 4. In Luke chapter 8, verse 4, it reads, And when much people were gathered together and were come to him out of every city, and he spake by a parable. So he spoke by a parable. So when he's dealing with parables, who is he speaking to? He's speaking to the multitude. So right here, Yeshua is now in the presence of the multitude, and the disciples are also present. So here he is before the multitude. Now, when you say multitude, you have to go in between thousands, okay? And here he is among them, and he's going to speak by parables. And again, it is said, blessed is he that can understand the word and the parables. Why? Why is there a blessing for he that can understand the word and the parables? And then I'm going to show you why the disciples could not understand the parables. And you would have thought that they would understand the parables and the word. But the way the Father set it up was that they could not understand the parables until they received the Ruach HaKodesh, which is the Holy Spirit. So this is a reason why they could not understand the parables. And us today, see how much we have? We have everything we need because now he lives in us. So we're to be able to understand the word and the parables. What today would stop people from understanding the word and the parables, or let's just say the word, would be the fact that the gate is so narrow that he said, very few shall find therein. And why would few? Because those are the ones that the Father has given the mystery to. He has given them the mystery to break down to you all the word and the parables. That is another reason why we are in the year of 2024 and 99.9 times 15 billion do not understand that the word is not in paperback books. The word is who Yah is. We are reading words with an S. He is the word. And because we miss Genesis chapter 1, where you can hear the word spoken and the power bring forth everything that the word spoke. See, we can't even grip the fact that in Genesis 1, the word spoke. Not he that wrote words, but the word spoke in Genesis chapter 1. Not only did the word speak, he spoke to himself, and his power brought everything into play that his word, which is him, spoke. You see? So where we're at today is where he knew we would be without the mystery. So I say unto the Father, I said, wait now, hold up. That makes a lot of sense. Because you said narrow is the gate that leads to life. Also in that it's righteous. But you say very few shall find their end. So you knew they would miss Genesis 1. And if they missed Genesis 1, they would never find the mystery. Unless Revelation chapter 10 pull up, because they would never find it. Revelation chapter 10, when the seventh angel blew the trumpet, you said all is finished. But any mystery is coming to the servants, the prophets. You see? So when you don't hear the prophets of the Most High Yah today, this is why your ears are open to every sound, every voice, every teaching, every understanding on the face of the earth. This is why people wake up looking for YouTube and lay down looking for YouTube, wake up looking for Facebook and lay down looking for Facebook, because they don't have nothing else to look for. Because they're not seeking what you call that which is truth. Genesis 1 holds all the mystery, because reason why I say all the mystery, if you miss the power in Genesis 1, you'd have missed the whole book. You'd have missed Yah himself. Because in Genesis 1, it tells you who the word is and how the power obeyed the word. And the word looked for the power to help it out. So when he got to Genesis 1 and 26, he said, okay, we done with creating everything. Now let us create something like unto us. He was talking to his power that answered everything in Genesis that he said, let, and his power brought forth. Let, and his power brought forth. If he was not talking to anyone, why is the word, if he was not speaking as if he was speaking to something, what would be the reason for the word let? Is he was telling his own power, let this come forth. Bam, the power said, there it is. What's next? Let this come forth. The power said, bam, there it is. We missed it. And because we missed the power, we miss Yah himself. So in time past, you hear him say they got this thing about denying the power therein. Why? Because they denied it from the beginning. What was about the beginning? Perfect. That was the beginning of the perfect will of the Father, where no trees were planted as far as knowledge of good and evil. Nothing was planted. Everything was being created by his word being spoken out of him and his power, which is his right hand, bringing all things forth. What did we do? We missed it in Genesis chapter 1. And because we missed it, it answered all the other questions, even regarding the gate that is narrow and very few shall find it. You know why they can't find it? It's because they missed it from the beginning. So here we are going into Luke chapter 8. And here we're going to see how Yeshua is going to bring up some things regarding a parable. I had to go that route because many of you all out there that really understand the word and the power and the parable, the word and the parable, you got it. You got it. But many don't have no idea what the parable really stands for and what the word is and how the word is supporting the parable. Why is the word of Yah supporting the parable? Because the word was for the righteous, those that are of the light. And the parables were for those who walk in darkness, in hope that they could see the light through the what? The parables. Let's go. So here we are in Luke chapter 8 and verse 4. And when much people were gathered together and were come to him out of every city. Now, I'm saying 2, 3, maybe more, 1,000 of people. They came from every city. Now they're gathered. And he spoke by a parable. As a teenager, I understood the parables, but I understood the parables, but I thought it was funny, and it really wasn't. Because while I understood the parable as a teenager, I laughed at the fact that the disciples couldn't understand it. So that's what made it funny to me. How is it they couldn't get it, but I got it? You know, That's what, I was a teenager. That's what really got me to laughing at the whole situation. And that's also what got me questioning the Most High Yah about this sower who called himself sowing seeds, until he told me it was him. In the parable, I should have been able to get that. But I got the point that the sower is sowing some seeds somewhere. And the sower wasn't sowing the seeds places that it wouldn't bring up or root in and come up. So we're going to get into it and find out what really was taking place. So here in verse 5, it says, a sower went out to sow his seeds. You see him? Now, we know we got a sower. And who do the seed belong to? The sower. So we're dealing with somebody who is the sower, and these are his seed. You see the word seed, S-E-E-D. You know, if a real sower in the flesh would sow his seeds, he would have probably 2 or 3 seeds, and when he sow them, they're going out by great numbers. But when you see the word seed, S-E-E-D, the Father is trying to get you out of the natural and bring you over to a spiritual realm of understanding. This is a sower who has spiritual seed, not seeds. So it's taking you out of the mindset of a natural, how would I say, farmer who sowed seeds. It's putting you in a spiritual realm because it's wanting you to see it for really what it is. It shows as if the seed is one seed, but it's many seeds. But you got to understand who is he, the sower that sowed his own seed. That seed represents spiritual. Okay, so it's dealing with you on a spiritual level, but yet he's talking to them in a how would I say, in a parable that's best fit them understanding a little light in the way he's going to bring it forth. So it says in verse 5, a sower went out to sow his seed, and as he sowed, some fell by the wayside, and it was trodden down, and the fowls of the air devoured it. Notice it wasn't that it was devoured them. He's wanting you to bring everything into a singular situation. So when Sister Deborah come, I can see it in the spirit realm as much as I can understand it. I can see it in the spirit realm. And I know that this is not a man like I did when I was a young person. I asked him, well, why I just saw these, until I found out it was him. Then I had to rechange the fact that I understood the parable, but now that I know that it's you, I got to take it and make sure it stays in a spiritual setting. Now watch this here. So he sowed the seeds, his seeds, and this is verse 5, and they sowed them on the wayside, and it was trodden down, and the fowls of the earth devoured it. Watch this, verse 6. And some fell upon a rock, and as soon as it sprung up, it withered away because it lacked moisture. Okay. Verse 7. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up with it and choked it. Verse 8. And other fell on good ground and sprung up and bared, you see, fruit. You see, that's fruit. This is what the word does. You bear fruit from the word, you guys. That's why people don't understand the fruit of the Spirit, because they don't understand the fruit that sprung up from this was fruit of the Spirit. You see, it was fruit of the Spirit. Now watch this here. And it bare fruit an hundredfold. And when he had said these things, he cried. And that had ear, he cried. He that have an ear, let him hear. He that have an ear, let him hear. Now, if you think that he's speaking of a natural ear, he's not. He's actually speaking of, to the multitude, anyone out there that has an ear, let him hear. Because if he was thinking about the natural ear, he knew that everybody out there had natural ears, and they had two of them. This is where I triggered in on an error in print. But I said, okay, I don't want to take them there because they wouldn't know how to come out. So I'm not going to take you there. But he said, he that has an ear, hear, let him hear. He that has an ear to hear, let him hear. So he's saying that even though it's a multitude of people who he spoke these parables to, he knew himself that there was some there that had an ear to hear. And that ear is a spirit, to hear what the Spirit is saying. So every time he says, he that has an ear, let him hear, he's speaking of a spirit ear. And this is what he was saying to the multitude. And here you see it says ears. That's where you know it's an error. Because as you go straight through this book and hear Yeshua speak, he never said ears with an S. It's always ear. So this lead me to understand this was and is an error to put the S. He wasn't saying to the flesh to hear. He was saying anyone that has that spiritual ear, let him hear the parable. Okay? So then the disciples in verse 9, we in Luke chapter 8 and verse 9, he said his disciples asked him, saying, what might this parable be? See, the disciples couldn't even comprehend the parable, y'all. They couldn't comprehend the parable. You know why they couldn't comprehend the parable? Because they hadn't received the Ruach. They hadn't received that which they need to be able to understand the parable. But we today have the ability to hear the Spirit speak unto us and break down as we read the parable. Because we have the ear to hear. Why? Because that's the spiritual ear. Okay? We have it to hear. But the apostles, they did not. His disciples, it wasn't apostles, but his disciples, they didn't have the ear to hear. So that's why they was wondering, why was he given it and what does it mean? So when he was giving them the parables, it was also, you might have thought that it was just for the disciple, not for the disciples, for the multitude, but it was also for the disciples who couldn't understand the parables. So it took the Ruach to come. It took the Ruach to come to be in them so that they now can understand and interpret the parables. But when Yeshua was speaking of, he that has an ear to hear, let him hear. He had the 12 disciples and he had the multitude. But when he's teaching in this form of a parable that's really sending the message, he has to open the airway to he that have an ear, let him hear. Why? Because when the Ruach comes, those that has the ear to hear is going to understand everything that they once heard. You see? They're going to understand the parables and the word. You see what I'm saying? So here in verse 9, the disciples was wondering, wait a minute, what was that? What was that you giving them? See, because they didn't understand parables wasn't created for them. Okay? They didn't understand that. But when the roar come, bro, you better know the parables and the word. Praise the mighty Yah. But here it is. They wasn't created at that moment to walk with the Messiah and to take in the parables. They weren't for them. But yet they could hear. But what they didn't like is the fact that they couldn't understand it. They couldn't understand it. And let's see what Yeshua said in verse 10. And Yeshua said, unto you is given. There they given. Did he say to you, y'all love you? To you, I love you. No, he said to you. To the what? The disciples. To you it is given to know the mystery. 99.9 of you all really think you can know it all. You can't, baby. It's only to those he has given to know the mystery. And they are to plant them seeds upon you. That's it. And that's how you get it and run with it. That's what Revelation chapter 10 is saying when it says, when that seventh angel blew that trumpet and said, Yah said it is finished, all is finished. But that which is the mystery is within the prophets, my servants. He's letting you know, I don't answer to you. I am the I am. I do it my way. You see? So here he's telling the disciples, he said unto you is given. There go giving. The Most High is not love. He is given gain. It's nothing that he has done that would, it's nothing you can define of a creator that created everything under love. But we can look at give and gave, because every time you see the word love, you see give and gave. Follow either in front of it or in the back of it. Why? Because that's the true definition of who he is. That's the part that we won't give and gave. Let's say me being a mother. If I'm a mother and I have 6 children, as a mother, I have to learn to give and give. And as children, they have to learn to give and give. We all have a place, and we have to learn to give and give. She's the mother. I'm her child. You know, I'm going to give her respect because she's my mother. She's what the Most High has given me. I'm going to give them respect because they are my children, and I have to follow the way Yah said to raise them up. You see? But that's what you call give and gave, understanding each other's purpose. A husband and a wife. If he can understand that the Most High Yah is give and gave, then he can give who he is to his wife, and his wife can give who she is to him. So they can be giving and giving each other. You see? You're going to be giving and gave. You don't have to, women don't have to rule. So give that position to him. Give that position to him. If a woman is better at budgeting, give that to her. Give it. But what you see in the marriage, why it's so broke down, no one wants to give and give. If you get into a conflict and one of you all, you're arguing with one another, it's okay. You're united together, supposed to be equally yoked, give and give. If one wants to continue to believe that they right, give up. Let them go ahead thinking that. What it would do is start making them feel shame about why they feel they were right. And then they would come back and say, you know, I'd like to apologize. I don't think I was as right as you as I thought I was. Why? Because you gave up. See, everything ain't about a fight, y'all. Everything is about kill and steal and destroying each other, making the worst come out of each other. It's about taking what Yah is. Yah is give and gave. When he called his word, his power gave us what? The beginning. Let's look at it in Genesis chapter 1. Watch this here. Just watch this here. Genesis chapter 1 and verse 3. And Yah say, let there be light. Power gave him what he asked for. He said, and that was in verse Genesis chapter 1 and verse 6. And Yah said, let, and his power gave him what he said he wanted. In Genesis chapter 9, and Yah said, let, and his power brought forth what Yah said give him. Yah, everything Yah gave, everything Yah said let to, his power brought it forth to do what? To give unto us. I didn't see here not one word saying cost love. He said let. And if you look up the word let, you will see let means give. In Hebrew, it also, one of its definition is to give. And he's telling his power, give me light. Bam, the power bring it forth. You see? Working hand in hand. His word and his power, just like you. You can't get up and take a shower. Your body has to work with your thought. When his body, his spiritual body worked with his word. When he spoke it, his power brought it forth. How did it do it? It gave us everything we have today. That's just it. It didn't say in the beginning, Yah loved us so much that he gave us this. You heard in not in Genesis where he gave his only begotten. But notice gave. What was this love? Gave. His only begotten. He gave. So that's really who he is. So when you get to Luke chapter 10, you hear Yeshua saying to them, unto you it was given. There go it again. Give and gave is who Yah is. It was given to know the mystery of the kingdom of Yah. There he said that the same thing he said in Revelation chapter 10. Let's go there. In Revelation chapter 10. Revelation chapter 10. Oh, that's that page that's torn out, isn't it? Oh, yes, it is. Okay, y'all, I can't go there. Revelation chapter 10 is the same thing. It talks about the mystery of the kingdom is given to his servants. Revelation chapter 10 and verse 7. The mystery of the kingdom is given to his servants, the prophets. I know the pastor wanted the bishop, the priest, the teacher, the evangelist, the Moorings, the seers, the watchmen, and that's why you got thousands of them booming up today, trying to bring you a word that don't have the mystery. Because right now, we need the mystery right now. Because we had enough words. Let's put it like that. We had enough words. We need to step into the word in mystery. And that's what Sister Deborah is geared to do. My mission, my purpose, what I was ordained, predestined, and foreknew before I was in my mother's womb is to do what I'm doing today. Okay, so here he's saying to the disciples, he says, but unto you it was given to know the mystery of the kingdom of Yah. No one can tell me what the mystery is. Anybody in the live chat, what is the mystery? Anybody in the live chat, what is this mystery? What is it likened to? Anybody in the live chat, what is the mystery likened to? I was on YouTube 6 years ago, and I was on here a good 3 months. I think probably even a little longer than that, and I got off. And you all, I did. I had way beyond more subscribers. I shut it down because I was hoping. I'm giving you a hint. I'm gonna see who going of the kingdom. What is the mystery connected to? And the power is the word. Exactly. They work together. But what is, look, watch this here. In Luke chapter 8 and verse 10, it says, unto you it is given to know the mystery of the kingdom of Yah. Many of us said it's the power. And this is why it has not been given to many. And that's why he said it is narrow and very few shall find therein. I don't think that the ones that find therein is the only one that makes it in, not through the narrow gate you want, but I think that it's not stopping you from making it in. You get what I'm saying? Why? Because I think those that's going through the narrow gate had a narrow mission. You see what I'm saying? I think they were given this mystery. They was given what they need to give to what? To sow the seeds into you all. You know how Sister Deborah been telling y'all for probably the last 6 months or probably a little longer that the Father say, what's wrong? What's your problem? You got a lane. You can go into your lane. And I'm going to connect it to what I'm saying. Okay? Now, the full understanding. Now, here what he's telling the disciples is what Sister Deborah did when she got onto YouTube and could not understand. We in Luke chapter 8 and verse 10. I couldn't understand this right here, and why wasn't this taking place? So I got so upset till the Father had to tell me, what makes you think they can do that? I said, but they talking this and they talking that, but they missing this, Father. They missing. Y'all should have. I was a nervous wreck. Because in me, my first time on YouTube, I was trying to figure out why isn't they? What was it? No one said it, but this is what it is. The mystery to the kingdom of Yah. He's telling them, to you is given the mystery, meaning you get the word, and to get the word, you have the key to the kingdom. It's the key to the kingdom, the key to open the doors up and walk on in. That's the mystery that is spread abroad that many have no idea of, the individuals that's walking through the narrow gate because they know the way, because they have the key to the kingdom. Every time I tell y'all over and over and over, he always gets on me about you got a lane. You got a lane. Get in your lane. Stay in your lane. That's what he's speaking of. It's just like having the keys to the kingdom. Stay in your lane, Deborah. Because y'all, Sister Deborah been on this platform, and so many times did I get off. And if I had not of, I should have at least reached 100,000. Because when I first started, I'll start booming. But I didn't want to boom, y'all. It didn't matter to me about subscribers and like. All I wanted is them to teach the key to the kingdom. I wanted them to have the key so they can open up the door and tell the truth of the whole matter. They were so close, you guys. But yet now one would walk in the door and it was confusing me. Why is it they on this platform? I said, this is the devil's platform. Something is wrong. These people don't know the truth. And I will beg, and I'm at my laptop begging them in. Open the door. How could you be on here 2 hours and not open the door? I couldn't get it. It wouldn't register. Why couldn't they open the door and walk in? Until the Father told me. Ain't nobody gave them no keys, Deborah. What makes you think they gonna just walk in without the keys, baby? See, I'm thinking, if you're going to know a little, at least you had the keys to go to the next step. They never did, even to this day. So when you hear Sister Deborah roaring and sounding like she's bold, that's why. Because it ain't no different than it was when I first started. No one is showing up with the keys and going in. And it's very confusing. So listen to this. In Luke chapter 8, here is what he said. And he said unto them, it is given to know the mystery of the kingdom. But to others, I give them parables. So Yah knows what he's doing. He knows the mission he has sent the Son on. And it is a mission that he has already orchestrated who's who and what's what. And how people get what they're getting and how they receive it. It doesn't stop them from going in, but you got to be able to have some sort of a mind that can how would I say it, focus on those that are carrying the mystery. And when they're not, you can't get it, and you're not getting the mystery in this day and time. It's because you're lost with the cause and without one. And it don't start on the outer man. It starts on the inner man. Okay, so as the disciples is hearing what Yeshua told them about the mystery is given into them of the kingdom of Yah, but to others, see, that's how it is today. That's why I was telling y'all I could be on here all day and night, and that's all I'm concerned about is that one. That's that one. So he's telling them, but to the others parables, but seeing they might not see, and hearing they might not understand. See, he knows that. You can be talking all day like I've been on here. I've been straightforward about the last 4 years, been on here, and I tell you, I feel like I'm talking to a brick wall. I feel that. But he's already letting me know. The mystery is given in the end days as the light that speaks the word from the kingdom. And this is why people can't take on spirit and truth. They can't take on the light because they're so used to hearing it from the standpoint of the darkness, the church they used to go to, the group they used to join, the religion they once believed in, the interpretation of scriptures. So they can't take on spirit and truth, in which Yeshua said shall come, and is now and shall come. Those that's going to what? Speak spirit and truth. Another mystery. And this is why you'll never hear that on this platform. You will never, on these platforms, all of them, and you will never hear it in a church, a sanctuary, or a temple. Because they don't want you all to know. To get a grip of this would be like unto the spirit of truth, spirit and truth, and the light in the right hand. To what? To see in darkness. Okay, so here he says that they might not see, and here they might not understand. Now, this is where the good part of the whole lesson comes from. Verse 11. Watch this here. In verse 11, it says, now the parable is this. One thing I learned as a teenager, I was like 18, 19. I learned that even though the parables were given to the multitude and the mystery of the word and the keys to the kingdom was given to the disciples, I will say this here. The parable set a really, really good side-by-side example of the word. That's what I learned as a teenager. Because when I gripped that I could understand the parables, I said, wait a minute, the parables is setting it up like in the kingdom, ain't it? Yes, it is, Deborah. That's why the parables will say heavens is like unto. Most of the parables will say heavens is like unto. So it's an orchestration of the mind of Yah, and he brings it into a form where those who are not given the keys and the mystery, they can be standing side by side. Why? Because they can understand the parable. You see? Because he said that if he give it to them, seeing they might not see, hearing they might not hear, might not. Not saying that they cannot, because a lot of them could. And then when the Ruach comes, then they can understand the fullness. Now listen to this. In verse 11, this is what is very important. In verse 11, Luke chapter 8 and verse 11. Now the parables is this. He's finna break the parables down to who? Who is he about to break the parables down to? Anybody in the live chat? Who is Yeshua about to break the parables down to? He's about to break the parables down to someone. In verse 11, the parables is this. Who is he about to break the parables down to? That is the disciples, because they have no idea what the parables is saying. Exactly, the disciples. Very good. They have no idea what this parable is saying. But you today, you are automatically grip it. If you have the Ruach, the Holy Spirit, you will grip that thing with the blink of an eye and understand it in its fullness. Okay? So when you get here and you see in verse 11, he says, now, the parable is this. He didn't need to break it down to the multitude because they got the food that he had for them. That was it for them. He needed to break it down to the disciples because they questioned what they did not understand. So he felt the need to break it down to them. So this is what he says. He said in verse 11, Luke chapter 8 and verse 11. Now, the parable is this. The seed is the word of Yah. You see? The seed is the word of Yah. That right there should have made you just freeze, because the word of Yah, the seed. See, this is where I was saying how it sounds so simple, so plain, but it makes sense where he says that very few shall find. But just because they don't find the way through the narrow gate don't mean they're not going to have a way, because y'all already made the way. Okay. But here, when he tells you the seed is the word, what does that take you back to? What does that take you back to? The seed is the word. Don't it kind of take you back to Genesis chapter 3 and verse 15? When he said, my seed and your seed, Satan's seed and his seed. It kind of bring you back to that. The seed back in, not the seeds, but the seed. The woman seed, remember? And the serpent seed. When you see the woman seed and you see the serpent seed, let's go. In Luke chapter 8 and verse 5 says, a sower went out to sow his seed. So let's look at Genesis 3 and 15. Now, the father was telling Satan, your seed and my seed. You see? The seed of the serpent and the spiritual seed. Now, here is the spiritual seed right here in the front of y'all face. He's telling them the sower sowed his seed. And he sowed it, and some fell by the wayside, and it was trodden down, and the fowls of the air devoured it. Now that's by the wayside. So those seeds that were sown is the word. Sown in a place that it will not produce. So what place had an opportunity to have the word. A people. The word of Yah sowed seeds amongst all of these people. People on the wayside were seed planted. The word is the seed. Just think of the word. Okay? Just think of the word being fell. Just think of the word fell down by the wayside. And what happened? And it was trodden down, and the fowls of the air devoured it. So did y'all give that seed a chance? Was not that word applied? You see what I'm saying? So what y'all want you to see is how he applied word in everybody. That's why this book can't be the word, y'all. That's why the book cannot be the word. I know you all don't get it, and it's just like the parable, and it's okay. But if the word, okay, let's go back. Verse 11. Now the parable is this. He's going to break it down to the disciples. He's breaking it down to the disciples. The parable is this. What is the parables, Father? What is this parable? The seed is the word of Yah. So the word of Yah fell on the what? The wayside. And it was trodden down, and fowls of the earth devoured it. What did they devour? The word that were planted into individuals. Okay, verse 6. And some fell upon a rock. And as soon as it sprung up, it withered away because it lacked moisture. So was the word applied? Was not the word applied? If the seed represent the word, was not the word applied? To the wayside, to the rock, was given the word of Yah. Not this book, y'all, but the real word of Yah. So then it comes down to verse 7. And some fell among thorns, and thorns sprung up with it and choked it. Who choked what? The word. The word. Okay, now listen to this. And when it come up, it choked. The thorns, it choked. But watch this. And other fell on good ground and sprung up and bare fruit, and 100-fold. And when he had said these things, he cried, he that has an ear to hear, let him hear. So right then, he's actually showing you. He spoke the parable first. Now he's about to break it down. Why? Because break it down to the multitude? No. He gave the multitude what they're going to get. But now he's about to break it down for his disciples because they had no idea what he was talking about. Okay? And here we go. In verse 11, he said to them, the parable is this. The seed is the word. Now see how we can read this over and over and over and miss the fact that this parable was giving us an example of the word of Yah being implanted. Was the word implanted in some that was not implanted? No, it showed you. And now it's finna break it down to you. Okay, and here you go. He's getting ready to tell the disciples, those by the wayside are they. There go they. That hear, then come the devil and take away the word out of their hearts, lest they should believe and be saved. So he's talking about the way he planted these seeds or speaking of people. He gave the word. Because you remember in Romans chapter 1, he was told, I put it in them to know. Instead, they didn't want to know. They knew because it was already invested in it, what he said, manifested in them. And as you read on throughout your life, you're going to see he said that it was already in them. And that would take you back to the seeds of the parable. When those that were the seeds that fell on the rocks and on the thorns and on the wayside were the word planted there in them. But no matter what the word was in them, it wasn't going to produce the servants of Yah, but of Satan. You see? Now listen to this. Verse 12, it says, those by the wayside, remember those seeds that fell by the wayside? They are they that hear it. See, they hear it, the word of Yah. Then cometh the devil and take away the word out of their hearts, lest they shall believe and be saved. Okay, so we know now that those seeds that were sown was the word in people. This is why he said they are without excuse. Okay, so verse 13, they are on, and they on the rock are they which when they heard received the word. It ain't saying words. Received the word with joy. So they were happy to receive the word. And these have no root, which for a while believed, and in time of temptation fell away. So there go another group of people that had the word, but during hard times and temptations come upon them, they fell away and left the word to itself. They went a different way. And who are those, Deborah? Those that fell on the seeds that fell on those that was the rock. Now here go the 14. And that which fell among the thorns, and they which when they had heard go forth and are choked with cares of riches and pleasure of this life, and bringing no fruit to perfection. See that fruit? And bringing no fruit to perfection. Now, what choked them? The cares of life and riches and pleasure. Now, I think that's the number one. The cares of this world, riches and pleasure. But what? This is why no grace and mercy is going to be at the throne. It's because we had the word planted in us. You see? But it's what we did with it during the time we grew into who we were. We took it and didn't apply it at all. And you're going to see another verse chapter that actually says that. Now, here in verse 14, it says, and that which fell among thorns are they which were, when they had heard, go forth and are choked with care of riches and pleasures of this life, and bring no fruit to perfection. And that's what you see on all these platforms. Many are voices, but no one is bringing any fruit of the Spirit. And no one cares. You see, that's the mindset. Okay. Verse 15, but that on a good ground, verse 15, but that on the good ground are they which in a honest and good heart, having heard the word, keep it and bring forth, there go that bringing forth the fruit with patience. There go that fruit. Verse 16, no man when he have have light a candle, cover it with a vessel, or put it under a bed, but set it on a candlestick, that they which enter might see the light. Okay? So your lights is supposed to shine, you guys. Even though you on this devil platform and on all these other platforms all the time on your phone doing this and this, where's your light shining? Most people light ain't even shining to themselves. Themselves can't see the light because it's not shining at all. Now, verse 17 says, for nothing in secret that shall not be made manifest. There it go again. That manifest. And we're going to see that. Neither anything hidden that shall not be known and come abroad. So this lead me to understand, Deborah, this is why you have a lane. And this is why you have these feelings that you have when you are teaching. Because you know what you're teaching is the keys to the kingdom. You know that you're teaching spirit and truth. You know you got the light in your right hand. And you know that darkness is in the midst. You know this. Now, when you get to Romans, watch what Romans chapter 1 says. It says everything it's talking about in Luke. In Romans chapter 1 and verse 18, the wrath of Yah is revealed from heavens against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men. Watch this here. Here it is. Who holds the truth? Who holds the truth? They holding it. How are they holding it? In unrighteousness. That's what he said. Just like all of those areas that he poured his word into everyone, they had the word and they holding the word, but they are not producing, nor are they capable of doing anything, because falling by the wayside, the word fell by the wayside to those who was in the area of the wayside. The word fell on the rocks, the stony place. The word fell also among thorns. What's the important thing? That the word got to everybody. That's what's scary. That's scary. Because it's actually saying that heavens had already dispersed who he is, which is the word, to everybody. And that's the measurement of judgment. Here he says in Romans, he said they hold the truth in unrighteousness, Deborah, because that which may be known of me, Deborah, is manifested in them. For Yah has shown it unto them. That was those seeds that was dispersed in all of those areas. They had the word, y'all, just as today. So when we trying to figure out, are we saved, or are we in there, or we this and that, let me explain something to this. You can stand here and look at Deborah like she's stupid, 24/24. But when it all said and done, the reason why this brings joy to me, it brings me and remind me of Yah saying, get in your lane. In a sense, Deborah, my word already been on there. Don't put too much. Don't try to think that you can give them a part of your key and the mystery that I invested in you. Just like these here seed that was fell on the wayside, the word got there. The stony rocks, the word got there. The thorns, the word got there. That's why it ain't gonna be no mercy come judgment. He knew where he planted his word. It brings joy to me. It brings joy in my spirit because it reminds me of how he constantly saying, you got a lane. You can pull out of your lane and give them all that I give you. But don't forget, you got a lane. It's a reason why you got a lane. And as I see here in Romans chapter 1 and verse 19, because that which may be known of Yah is manifested in them. For Yah has shown it unto them. Verse 20. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world. That's scary, y'all. That's scary. It's scary, but it makes me feel joyful. But it's scary because it's like people don't even understand the situation they're in. And you know what he was dealing with me all today about since this morning? People don't care about eternal life. They just care about this temporary life. No one cares about tomorrow. They're too caught up in today. And this is the reason why there's not going to be a change in people. Because they're not worrying about what they cannot see and feel anything about it. Because they got in their minds, only way I can see is me going in this. And you don't even understand 99.9 everybody think they in the Lamb Book of Life going to heaven. Even those who don't even believe, they still think they got a place after this. But it's a place where they just going to live party hardy. That's the mindset. But here in Romans chapter 1 and verse 20, he said, for the invisible things of him from the creation of the world, Deborah, are clearly seen. Now, this is what got me when he says are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made. What did I tell y'all? Now, when you see this verse, Romans chapter 1 and verse 20, the things that are made, he's letting you know who you dealing with. You need to back your tails back up in Genesis 1. Listen to what he says. Romans chapter 1, verse 20. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world. You remember he was creating? Are clearly seen. Watch this here. Being understood by the things that he made. Even his eternal power. That was back in Genesis 1. Look at what he's saying. The invisible things from the creation of the world, clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse, Deborah. So they can sit and they can go to Dumb City. They can be a brick wall. They can be whatever they want, baby. I told you, you got a lane. They're going to be what they're going to be. Because everywhere I place my word, I already know out of 175% will never serve my word. That means who he is. Because Yeshua had already showed you the parable. And here he's telling you, because he was already in you. So when I'm thinking, hey, why are they doing it? Why are they doing this? Oh, Father, these men are doing it. Deborah, hold up now. How many of those seeds that increased? 1 out of 4. 4, only 1 increase. So understand, the gate is going to always be narrow. The keys is not given to everyone. And I'm gripping, just hearing myself even sitting here telling you how Paul broke down Genesis 1 right here. Paul just broke down Genesis 1 right here. And I know 99.9 it went over your head. You didn't catch it. Paul just broke down Genesis 1. The way, now see how Deborah breaks it down, telling you how the word spoke and the power brought it forth. When here he says for Romans chapter 1, Paul said in verse 20, for the invisible things of him from the creation of the world. So we got to go back to the beginning of what? The creation of the world. When he was creating the world, watch this here. Watch this here. Are clearly seen. Watch this. Being understood by the things that are made. He's letting you know everything from Genesis chapter 1, Deborah, were made from the creation of the world. Clearly seen, Deborah, even my power, my eternal power, letting you know that was the kingdom with the power creating all those things back in the beginning. Just as I said, Genesis 1 verse 26, let us. And every time he said let, his eternal power brought it forth. Paul just broke that thing down his way. That's beautiful. I never heard Paul break it down that way. I never put the pieces together. See, I'm more so focused on the way y'all break it down in my spirit. But what I'm seeing right here, Paul broke it down just as good, because Paul turned around and even put the eternal power in there. That's that power I told you this. When he say let, bam, that power brought it forth. That's what he was talking to in Genesis chapter 1 and 26. And just as imagine, he did all that back then, and here we stand today as brick walls, never understanding it, even to today. Being taught by many the opposite. Paul just nailed it. Paul not only did he nail it, he let me know that, see, Deborah, it was already manifested in them. Did you just read Luke chapter 8? It was already there. And then verse 21, because that when you knew Yah, oh, praise the mighty Yah. Did they not know him? Yes. The parable said they knew. And other issues snatched what they had, which was the word from them. But y'all wanted me to see, Deborah, see, baby, I had put it in everybody. So when they come to my throne, it ain't gonna be no but if or I didn't I like that. I like that. I never knew that Paul had broke down Genesis 1. That's what he's saying. And he turned around in 20 and said, so that they, Deborah, are without excuse, baby. So teach that word. You see, that's beautiful. And it says in 21, because that when they knew Yah, they glorified him not as Yah, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imagination, and in their foolish heart was darkened, like unto the parables of the seed that was sown on the wayside, that was sown among the rocks, that was sown in the thorns. That's what it's talking about. And their foolish hearts were darkened. But it ain't because it was darkened. It was darkened because the word was in them. And this is their identity they took on. You see, not producing anything to the seed of my Father's word. Go back to Genesis 3 and 15. He had separated it knowingly that Satan gonna have his seed, and he gonna have his seed. How do you know that? That's the same setup the Father set up in Genesis 2 when he made two trees in the garden, in the midst, side by side. He had it already planned out. The purpose of having the tree of life there was just like unto the seed that he planted that fell amongst the thorns, the waysides, and the rocks. They had the opportunity, as Adam and Eve did, with both trees in the midst, the tree of life and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Same thing. Same thing. It's just wrapping up so much in me to understand that you were never off course. You was always on. But you try to figure out too many ways to make people get this. Don't do that because they know, Deborah. It's already invested in them. So that's why you can't pull out something from out of people that they don't have. You can't get something that they don't have within them. It's not there. Because to begin it, when they came here with what I already knew they were going to mount up to be. So that's why he constantly said, don't put too much of yourself on that, baby. Don't try to break that down to the nitty gritty. Deborah, you don't have to break that down like that. I know I gave it to you, but you don't have to. You got the keys. You can't give them the keys now, baby. You can give them what I give you, but you can't give them the keys. The keys is for you. That's your lane. So that alone gives me comfort of understanding really where I stand in my Father's bosom. Just to know that, just to really have that fullness right there. That is off the chain. Let me go here to Mark chapter 4. Let me see my time. I'm almost out of time. Mark chapter 4 and verse 30. And then it's going to be questions after that. Mark chapter 4. No, after the second one. But Mark chapter 4 and verse 30. Let me see what this is saying. Mark chapter 4 and verse 30. And it reads. Mark chapter 4 and verse 30. And he said, whereunto shall we liken the kingdom of Yah? Or with what comparison shall we compare it? It is like a grain. Look at the grain. Look at the grain of mustard seed. A grain of mustard seed. That mustard seed is said to be the most smallest seed. Watch this here. When it is sown in the earth, it's the least. Then all the seeds that be put in the earth. It is the smallest seed that one can sow into soil. Okay. Verse 32. But when it is sown, it groweth up and become greater than all the herbs, and shooteth out great branches, so that the fowls of the air may lodge under the shadow of it. That grain of mustard seed, that one little tiny grain, makes a big something, even to the point where the fowls of the air may lodge under the shadow of it. That's just how big, from one little mustard seed. He's just trying to let you understand the seed of Yah is like unto a mustard seed. It's not down here to play patty cake with you all. It's not down here to be looked at as the little of the little and the nothing of the nothing. Even though this is how they are treated and they are done. But I like that Mark pulling up like that with that seed, because that's another confirmation to Sister Deborah. Because a lot of people are dealing with the seed of the servants of the Most High Yah in a way that is very wicked and evil. And they try to trap us in a way that we can feel that it's us. Not this sister. I would never. Not the way the Ruach speaks to me. I would never find it to be me. Now, am I wrong? Do I be wrong? Sure, no doubt about it. But the greatest chastiser is he that is in me. And if he chastised me, I will bring that thing forth and say, I got in trouble and he got on me. This is not right. This is not. But until he does that, I'm not looking for the world to discipline all that is invested in me, because greater is he than he that's in the world. So I like that. Now, let me see what 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 10. Let's see. And that will be the last verse. And then I want to hear anybody have any questions or maybe even have answers. 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 10. And verse 10, 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 10, and it reads, as it is written, that's not it. 10, now he that ministered seed to the sower, both minister bread for your food, and multiply your seed that's sown. That's deep. That's deep. And increase the fruit of your righteousness. See, Yah is dealing with the seed, just as he told Satan in the garden, my seed and your seed. And here today, a lot, 99.9 believe that the seed is the Messiah. You see how wrong they've been? They've been wrong all this time. The seed is not the Messiah. The seed is those that Yah has planted his word in. You see? Those are his. They're the ones that fell into the soil and produce. You see? Produce what? The fruits that represent who? The Father in the heaven. They don't produce their fruit. They produce his fruit. The things of the Spirit. Okay, now it's time for anybody. If you have any questions or maybe you have the answer, the live chat is yours. And anybody in the live chat, if you can answer the question that someone put forth, go right ahead. Anybody. So I love this here. Oh, I love this. I love this. This feels so good. Oh, this feels so good. Ooh, I know it. I know that it's got to be. We've got to be moving in. I know ain't no got to. I know we moving in the direction to the end, without a doubt. Job 33 and 4. I know we are. Because, it's just, to me, it's just like, it's no more words for people, It's like, Father, how can you pull them even closer? And even to the point where if I were to I got 1,000 videos on YouTube. If I was to pull out, guess what? I got 1,000 videos up. Job chapter 33 and verse 4. The Spirit of Yah has made me, and the breath of the Almighty have given me life. Praise the Most High Yah. I know that's right. Job 33 and verse 4. The Spirit of Yah has made me, and the breath of the Almighty has given me life. Job had to step in. I think, was that Job? Yeah, I think that was Job answering then, wasn't it? Or was that the other one spoke? Who was speaking there? Job or what is he? Elijah, one of the friends, one of them, the son of, yeah. Somebody, one of them, but yes, that is Job chapter 33 and verse 4. The Spirit of Yah has made me, and the breath of the Almighty has given me life. Look at that word given. You see? Where is love in there? Wouldn't you think love should be in the beginning if he gave you his breath and his image? Can you answer that one for me? When you look into Job, see, this is why I say to you all, when you have the Ruach will stop you right in your tracks. He will stop you right in your tracks and say, look at that. And you don't mean to look at it, but you see it. So we have someone that poured up with Job, Job chapter 33 and verse 4. And it reads, the Spirit of Yah has made me, and the breath of the Almighty has what? Given. You see that word given? Given me life. Why isn't that he has loved me and gave me life? No. Love is a man-made word that they tend to swing to and fro, to use to entice and manipulate. We cannot use that word and apply it to the one that sits on the throne. So we have to see what was his characteristics like unto. From the kingdom was he given all that he gave. It was in his given and gave, something we as human beings never learned to do. And this is why we are in the situation we are in. Not just we as a people, the whole world. Because they never understood. Like Tina Turner said, what do love have to do with it? When you really focus on that, you'll realize the more you read and the Ruach is backing you up and backing you down, he will show you, I am give and gave. The Roman Catholics stole the word charity. And that's another word that was placed in there, charity. Why? It's supposed to be the greatest. But you all don't know what charity is. It is a form of give and gave. That's why the Roman Catholics adopted that word to be put on all of their labels. Y'all didn't know they did. I worked for them for too many years. I know. Because it's a form showing you they are give and gave. Because they know that the Father, definition of who he is give and gave. So what did that do? That stopped people from understanding the word give and gave. You can't be like Yah if you don't know what give and gave is. That he gave everything. Everything. Okay, so even when you look in your verse, Job chapter 33 and verse 4, and it says, Almighty has given life. Why isn't love placed there if he gave you an image of himself and the breath of life? Where is love you so that he gave you the breath of life? You ain't gonna find it. You're gonna always find give and gave. Okay, we have someone saying Mark 30. Is that the one I just covered? Yeah, that's it. Okay, we have someone, only 1/4 of the seed. Right, exactly, 1/4. Exactly. Isn't that strange? Now I ain't gonna say strange, but that's powerful to me every time I think of that, because it's like he's been teaching you that for so long. But I put it like 100 and 25% out of that 100, the same as 1/4. The seed produced fruit into righteousness, and it's connected to the book. That's exactly, there you go. You got it. That's it. See, he didn't orchestrate everything. That's why the judgment is not going to be that we thinking we're going to go up there and, up to the throne and try to win our way in. And I think a lot of them are going to think they can do that, but it's not going to be. They don't understand. It is written, baby. It's already nailed. That goes with 1 and 26. Okay, I see what you're saying. Oh, sure does. You're right. Good. Very good. Okay, in Job chapter 33 and verse 4, when it says, the Spirit of Yah has made me, and the breath of the Almighty has given me life. It does. It goes with, yes, you can use that with Genesis chapter 1 and verse 26. That is, you can use that in there, because I think it's something that we don't understand about this breath. We don't understand when you breathing into, what are you breathing into this flesh? A lot of people didn't catch it, but that was his image. Because where did his image come in? No one ever think the pastors, the bishops, the prophets, the prophetess, the priests, no one ever told the world when they formed all these religions, these church, that when you get in here, what happened to the image of God? If it was his breath and a soul, and there you the flesh, we see where the flesh coming from the earth. Okay? We see that. And we see the breath being blown. But how did your image come into Adam? They didn't know the image came in through the blow. Hello. The image came in through the blow. That's how I got in there. Okay? So you're right. You can match that as well. It sure do. It can be matched onto that. You are so right. Yes, look up charity in Greek and in Hebrew, and you're going to see a word give. You're going to say, wait a minute. And what is charity to you all? Anybody? If you were to look it up, say for instance, out of your own, what is charity? Charity. I think charity. What would you say that is? Everybody, anybody. What would you say charity, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, is? What would we say that is? Giving. Exactly. Because, I mean, when I worked for the Roman Catholics, Catholic charity was all over the whole world, from Italy to Germany to everywhere. Y'all didn't know that, did you? They're all over the world. What is it called? Catholic charity. Yes, Catholic charity. One of the biggest charity organization in the whole wide world. 99.9 didn't know that, did you? Yes. Why did they capture that word? That's how that word got in this book, y'all. To make you think that they are detached to doing the one that they call is the greatest gift. It's charity. Without teaching you all from the beginning, Father, I'm so sorry, Father. I'm so sorry, Father. Without teaching you from the beginning that Yah is give and gave. You see? But then the Roman Catholic took it, manifested it in the book as one of the greatest gifts. It's charity. And we took it, we read it, we believed it, we received it, we embraced it, but we didn't apply it to Yah. That we too can be what he is, give and gave. Give and gave is a form of everything you do, consider give and gave. It don't mean nothing if you can't. If you got in a situation at a store and somebody jumped in the lane, give it to them. You knew you was next. Let them get it, baby. Somebody driving on the streets and here you are, they jump in front of you and you don't want them to give it to them. Give it to them. If you have a difference between you and your wife and you know your wife is wrong, give it to her. Let her think she's right, because in her right will she find wrong. When you know that she's wrong, give it to her. Let her win it. If your husband feels that he is right, give it to her. Give it to him. Let him win. That's what give and gave is. It's to be able to give and gave, because it's not what we are making it to be. And that's even what is going around with Judah, women and men. No one wants to give. No one wants to give. And you hear nobody coming to the center. Who's in the center? Yah. Yah is in the center, but you don't see him in the center. No one letting he that's in the center teach them that it's no such thing. We're giving in to the world and the evil and wicked and sin and iniquity in the world by showing them how we conduct ourselves as a nation that is under his name. So what do? We bring shame. We bring shame to the Father. Because the way we conducting ourselves is saying we are the Holy One on the throne. We are his people. But do we match him? Do we match him? As say for instance, if we his sons, do we match him? Come on now. Just be the honest as you can. No, we don't. But yet we say we are. Right. Charity covers a multitude of sin. A multitude of sin. Yes, it does. You are so right. That was really beautiful. Yep, the light is a gift from Yah. I like that too. When it says that, it covers a multitude of sin. And that's going back to what I was just saying. Let's say, for instance, two sisters had a disagreement and they're not speaking to each other. They mad at each other because no one is willing to give and to give. Nobody's willing to give and give. So give and give is not where you just give and gave people something from your hand to theirs. It falls under a larger category, even our everyday life. And like I said, a husband and a wife, a pastor and his flock. He got to learn to give and give to his flock. But see what they say, I am the man of God. Y'all got to give me. But no, bro, give and gave. You got to understand who Yah is. He's given, gave. Look at all he done gave and he hath given. What has he got going on in eternal? A new heaven that he's going to what? Give us. And he would say, what we going to eat? He say food. That's cute. Now, you're speaking of, it says, nothing shall separate you from the love of, I love you, that the Lord Almighty. Define love from the kingdom. See if you can define love as you know it from the kingdom without matching the way you love. Oh yeah, you can match it. You can match it because Yah's love can't match our love. But define Yah's love. Put a definition to the word love from the kingdom, not from the earth, but from the kingdom. And the Father will keep the peace. Yes, he will. And you know what? I'm surprised you said something about the peace. Look up the peace in Hebrew and do a little study on that, because that's the word I was looking up before I got on here, the word peace. And I think you'll be shocked that the peace that we're thinking of, I don't think it's the same peace in Hebrew. So just do a search on that, because I went looking for it. Yep, mercy and grace. Yep. Yep, you see that forgiven? Yep, like give, forgiven. So much. Yep. Mercy and gave, give and gave and give. Grace. Yep, there you go. Giving up that pride. And that's where humble come in. You see that? That's how come you see how humble come in after you've given something up. And if you really think about even the fruits of the Spirit is a way of gaining something and giving up something in the flesh, and giving up the flesh for the Spirit, the fruits of the Spirit. But you have to give up the flesh, the things of the flesh, to gain and be given the fruit of the Spirit. Because when you sit and you got on here, but by one gave up their pride and humbled themselves. Humble is like unto the fruit of the Spirit. But what did they have to give up? The pride. Yes, it does. It makes the vengeance of hate go away. Exactly. Yield our will for the will of the Father. Yep, because what you be doing, you be giving your will for the what? The will of the Father. You see what I'm saying? So if you start to really think of it, just when you read it, and the Ruach is in you and teaching, you will hear him tell you everything is really built on the foundation of everything he has given. Everything. And where did he give it? When he was in the kingdom, did he give that? See, a lot of people think the Messiah came and died on the cross. No, baby. The lamb was slaughtered before the foundation of the world. You get what I'm saying? So how could we have be redeemed if he died on the earth and then died in heaven? No, in the kingdom. The kingdom has to assign the sacrifice there first before it is on the earth. So it has to, the lamb has to be slaughtered before the foundation of the world and given to us already. So when the lamb come down to be slaughtered, he had to complete that which was already given in the kingdom for him to be slaughtered. It is not he hung on the okay, it tells us that a husband loves your wife as Christ loved the church. How did Christ love the church? I'm saying that. I may see that correct. He gave his life. So what do love look like in Christ? Gave his life. So he said to the men, love your wife as Christ loved the church. But the men don't know how if they never knew that what did Christ do to show what we call love by giving his life. They missed the word give that he gave his life. See how the most powerful word they missed? And this is also have to do with a husband and wife or fiance or whoever. It's because you have to understand that if we're going to serve the Most High Yah, these are the things we need to talk about even today that we didn't get yesterday. That first understanding he is giving gave. And once you sit down with your wife and you all discuss it, you watch it. Women, when you sit down with your husband and discuss it, both of you going to realize, well, you know what? In a lot of things, we might see things different, but it's okay to give him the benefit of the doubt of what he believes or what he feels. You know, if it ain't going to bring harm to the family, you see what I'm saying? And I'm going to show you why. Let me show you why. This is one of the things I feel that why Lot, Solomon, Gomorrah, all of the women fell to the death with the men, and how everything Yah does to Judah and Israel, the women go down with the ship with the men. It's because we as women did something that I have a hard time talking about. I really have a hard time talking about. And I'm going to go on and share it with you all. I want to go on and please don't reteach anything in the live chat, okay? It's not for reteaching, okay? But listen to this. This is what happened, y'all. And I'm going to be honest with you. I learned that one thing we as women done, and it has still to deal. It's still to do with the give and gave, and we done this here, y'all. And I'm saying it. Let me just say me. Is I never knew what it was like to let family members, the male family members, fall. That's a no-no. That's a no-no with Sister Deborah. I always thought catch them before they fall. I always believed that. I believe that instead of letting my husband make an error and fall based on his own choice of what he was doing or he chose to do, I stood waiting to catch him. I stood there waiting. Same thing with my sons and my daughter. The biggest error that many of our women have done was we never allowed them to fall as hard as Yah wanted them to fall. Because we thought that our role in this, hold up, 1 minute. The reason why is I wanted things to work so well that I didn't want them to fall. You see? Wrong thing. Raising 6 children. And my whole goal was making sure they didn't fall. The biggest error that one could make. Because to fall is to know how to get up. To fall is to learn how to get up. To fall is the key to getting up. But I myself could not afford a male to fall. And I'm saying that because that is the truth. I didn't believe in any situation that my husband, my sons, even my daughters get in, bam, there I am. Nobody fell. And no one can say that they fell. They have no testimonies to know what it's like to fall. Because every time she was there to pick us up or to catch us before we fall. The biggest mistake anybody can make. Somewhere along the line, I know for a fact that that's one of the biggest errors that I had as a wife, as a mother, a grandmother, is not wanting to see anyone fall. So my thing is this. I want y'all to hear me clear. I believe that I shall and I would catch them before they fall. That's what I did. And I look back over my life and I realize I never had no one to catch me when I fell. 63 years. Never had no one to catch me before I fall. So when I look back at it, I go straight to the altar. Look what you put in my life. Look what you put in my life, y'all. Not even thinking. That's what I would say. That wait a minute. This is something you did. They don't even know how to fall. Because you called them each time. So they would not fall. I, as a mother, as a sister, as a friend, I'm always and always have. Now, do I do that now? No. I've come a long ways because y'all had to show me through me not having anyone to catch me when I fall, when I fell. They couldn't catch me. Nobody, even to today. Not you. And I think of all of those years making it right for everybody, so they wouldn't have to suffer. Don't get no type of pain or get no type of situation. Bam, there I am. Wait a minute, what's going on? Let's nick it right now. It ain't gonna get there. We finna nail that thing here. You see, everything was based on to a point where my children, especially my sons, thought that any situation they get into, anytime they got ready to fall, they knew already. As long as they hear, hey, mama gonna catch me. You see? So the Ruach has taught me that see how you caught each and every last one of them. But you don't have nobody to catch you, do you? Because I had to put it before the Father. All these time I have failed these men. I have failed even my ex-husband because he don't know what it's like to fall. You see? Because you always were there to catch them before they fall. And I believe a lot of women have done that, even back in the biblical times. I think women have always been there to embrace men when we should have allowed them to fall. That's how they learn. That's how they make it. That's how they can be the best that they could be. Let them make the choice and let them live by. Let them feel that thing they chose. You see? I would let them make the choice, but made sure in making their choice, they wouldn't fall. Now, honestly, I have had 4 men in my life have had 4 men, even today, as I speak unto you, that still desiring me to enter back in to their lives. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to do that. Because I feel that I have hindered and I have not helped my daughters and my son. I did not allow my ex-husband to really be the best that he could have been. What do you mean, Deborah? He could have been better had I allowed him to fall. The choices he made, let him make it and let him fall. Don't let him make choices and when he's falling, you catching him to keep him from falling. That's the problem Sister Deborah had. That's the problem Sister Deborah had. Always there to catch them so they can't fall. But me, I can fall 24-24. You think something gonna catch me? I give all glory and honor to the Most High Yah, because he knows my heart. And I ain't talking about just that natural heart. He knows that spiritual heart. You see? That's just who and I look back at it and I said, when that's where many women have failed. We always made things, even the grandmothers, the great-great-grandmothers, the great-great-grandmothers, we always made the way clear for them, even though they never made it clear for us. It's a known fact. Never did. And it would never be owned. Why? It's because that's called out of order, Deborah. That wasn't in order. That's called out of order. You see? So that's going back to that, what we're talking about, give and gave. You see? Give them and gave them the space to fall and hit rock bottom. Give them the lead way to fall and feel it. And don't go getting them up, let them get up by themselves. That's where I felt as a female, a mother, and a grandmother. And a sister too. And a daughter. I felt there. And even today, as I look back at it, how do I measure it? Based on me. I'm there alone. So therefore, I'm sitting here saying I messed up a whole generation because they didn't understand what it's like to hit rock bottom. They don't understand how it feels to fall and hurt themselves. Fall mean in life, don't stop the hard times and the suffering and the pain from them, from their experience. You wanted to wipe it all away. When it pull up, you pull up. You see? That's not a good thing, y'all. It's not a good thing at all. So I end up having to pay the penalty of looking at it now and seeing. Now, which one of them you think that's going to pick you up? He said, how many times you came to the altar about all you put out and all you were there for them, and how when they failed, I mean, before they even fell, you picked them up so they couldn't fall. You kept them from falling. How many of them will come up here and do that for you? Not one. Not one. Not one. So it leads me back to that word give and gave. You see? I was given and gave it during the wrong time. No one learns through achieving. You learn through not the errors, the falls. That's how you learn. And then when they fall, they have to learn how to get up. They never learned because I didn't let them fall. And I thought I was doing something. I thought I was being the best wife, the best mother, the best grandmother. That's who I thought I was. I thought who's slipping? What's wrong? When I got a this bothers me. Oh, say what? Let's deal with that right now. You see, never letting them. And that's another thing that is going to be what's going to come after me is the ideal of when they do have to. I'm going to be the one to stand back and hurt from it because throughout life, I was the one that keeping them from falling. Now they don't know how to fall or know the feeling of how to fall. I give and gave all of who I am and what I am. And sometimes that give and gave, it's not good because they themselves have to be a give and gave. They themselves has to know how to fall and how to get up from that fall. You see what I'm saying? So in it all, that's not a good thing. And that's where I think a lot of our great grandparents, our mothers, great grandmothers, and ourselves, women, our mothers and mothers, that's what we did to the men. We made sure everything, these people, when they come to me and they talk to me and they tell me about their whole family and everything, they said, Miss Deborah, I want to let you know my daddy was a Rolling Stone. I used to didn't know what, did y'all know I didn't know what they was talking about? What you mean your daddy was a Rolling Stone? What do that mean? You know, I didn't know what that mean. They said, Deborah, that means, Miss Deborah, that means that my daddy had babies everywhere. He'll leave and don't come back. This is what we did. And when they come back, we had their bed still there. No, not me. I'm talking about the great grandmothers and the mothers. They had their bed still there. Their food was still there for them. They had a zone they can come to and be comfortable. This is why they went into that frame of having the children everywhere. And back in the days, it was not better than today. Don't let nobody tell you that. The Father said they always going to take the darkness and make it better so that the light today won't show up the darkness of yesterday. Because if we say yesterday was better than today, then where is the darkness? We can't say the darkness is today because yesterday is a product. I mean, today is the product of yesterday. So we got to get it right. Now, which one is it? See, he said that which was in the dark shall come to the light in the last days. When you look at what we have with the LBGTP, what do we have? Sodom and Gomorrah. What do we have? Judge, the book of Judge. We have those things existed. And this is what he said. Not just that, everything is a product that has been hidden. And hidden means it wasn't talked about. It wasn't brought out as sin and wicked and evil. Like I look at what you call it, Africa itself, and people walk around here like Africa don't have no. They have one of the biggest voodoo and witchcraft and sorcery going on in the world. Always did. Is it everywhere else? Yes, but Africa is the place. So if you see a lot of suffering and a lot of things that's going on there, none of you all would even think that that's where all that is. It's more wicked and evil going on there than you think. While we're focusing on what everybody's doing to them, okay, they ain't us, are they? Or they're the children? Or they're the people of the most? No. Now, do we have some scattered? Yes. But it's as big as that continent is, the biggest that place is, it's no way. It's probably a pin needle of us that's still there. What is with this place? Everybody tried to make it the number one. Oh, it got this, it got this, it got this, it got this, it's got this, it's got this, it's got this. I don't give a rat's behind what it got. If it don't have y'all, it ain't got nothing. How about that? How about that? And that's what people don't understand. I don't care what he got. Gain the whole world and lose your eternal to the lake because of what you got. Y'all better wake up, because that don't even make no sense. But I just wanted to share that with you regarding me always catching them when they fall. And in the last, how many years is this? 8 years. Hey, you fall, you're gonna catch yourself, because I realized that, wait a minute, I'm going through and I'm like saying, not name one of them that I caught before they even fell, and they don't even know what it's like to fall. But do you think, you know why? It's because we don't understand. When he tossed as a sword the seed, we got to embrace the fact that every seed didn't get into the soil. The majority of them went places that cannot produce spiritual food. Fruit. Food. It's spiritual. So therefore, we can sit and paint a picture in our families, in our communities, in our church, in our workplace. We can paint all the pretty pictures all over the wall, and when we finish, it still ain't gonna have a good outcome, just because you hung all the pictures, all the beautiful pictures all over the place. It don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. And that's what we do. So reason why I wanted to bring that up, because I know that we as women, we will do everything we can to make a home a home. At least I would say that's who I was. That's why I can talk about men, is because I've known that it has nothing to do up to what you do and what you don't do. What is in us is our father's lineage, and we reject the iniquity of our fathers that comes down our bloodline, that determine who's who and what's what. You see? And it matches still yet the seeds as Yah has ordered from the kingdom. It's off the chain. That's why he is the only one can give us some sort of insight in Genesis, when he was talking about to Satan about the two seeds. Right there, he told him. Satan know he ain't got no seeds. Where he gonna get them from? Those seeds that Yah put his word in, on the stony, the thorns, the wayside, still a place that they ain't gonna do nothing. You see? That's still showing you how he dispersed Satan's seeds. He's the one who gave him the seeds. He didn't get his own seeds. People don't even know nothing about it, because see, the reason why is their mindset limits he that sits on the throne. And the way the world is going today, they put him off the throne right now. He don't even have a throne. He don't even exist in a lot of people's mindset. And that's the new coming. That's what the new world is really about. It's not going to be hard for the one world system to ban the Bibles or to ban a religion. It's gonna be easy, because a lot of them will say we didn't believe in it no way. We didn't have a part of it no way. And see, that's what a lot of people don't know. It's going to cease. So you better get all the spiritual food that you can. So when it's all said and done, and it's done away with, I heard this one man say, and he was right. He wasn't lying. He said, I can't wait till they take all these platforms down. When they start taking all these platforms where all these people are going, believing everything that they hear, these people are going to be in a chaos. And they will. And they will. And I said something yesterday. I don't know if any of you all caught it yesterday, but I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say this again. And I'm going to also, tomorrow morning, I think I'll wait until Sunday, and on my TikTok, I'm going to post something similar to that. Do you all know that if this country decides we're going to do a reparation, we're going to give, or we're going to put before the congressman or whoever passed it, reparation. And I know to put forward it, they also, someone would have to know how to write it up and how they would disperse. One person is up right now, and it's 800 billion. That's the amount they came up with, one account. 800 billion being dispersed. Now, I want to say something to you all, and just give me what you think. Now, I don't know if you all see how the migrants are, or what they're doing. These people been doing this, okay? And a lot of it been under the cover. But right now, y'all said the lights is shining on darkness, Deborah. Ain't nobody gonna be getting away with pretty much a nothing. That's why people don't understand what they seeing going on. It's not something that just sprung up today. He said it's been going on, but the light wasn't shining on darkness. That's where you know I done pulled it up. See, everybody thinking that, all these things are happening. People are being exposed. Shut your mouth. Now, the light's shining on darkness. That's what that's all about. Okay? Ain't no man on the earth got the power to do nothing. He's shining that light on darkness. And what it dawned on me, because I was sitting on the couch, I wasn't asking the Father nothing. And I don't know why it's like he just brought it to me. Someone, it was some congressmen or whatever, they were saying $800 billion as reparation. Okay. The only way they would do reparation, the only way they would give it as a power punch. That's what I think. It would be a power punch. A power punch to start the racial war. See, I was talking to someone today about, in the fullness of my understanding, Judah is a people that ain't got what you call no nothing. I mean, they can't. Their whole function is not there, y'all. It's just simply not there. They would think that if we go and we get this here, or they need to give us this, or we entitled to it, give us. See, when they gave Israel back in Pharaoh's time, when he let the people go, you got to see the hand of the Father on it. See, y'all hand ain't gonna be on nothing when our mouth and our hand is on it, because we'll never see his glory when our mouth and our hand is on it. But when our mouth is not on it and our hands is not on it, then all hands of the Most High Yah is in control. But if we got to go and try to gain and fight and desire that we should have, because we entitled, and all of the reasons, that is not of Yah. But Yah will suffer. Watch what happens. I believe that if they were to even just say, decide that, okay, we're going to work out something that we give reparations, this is going to start the biggest racial war in this country. Mm, 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 mm. I can't do that. I can't. And that's what the father told me yesterday on the couch. He said, Deborah, it will start the biggest racial war in the United States. He didn't say the United States, he said in the country. And it made so much sense what he said. Now listen to this. You notice they at least got almost 50 million immigrants that have entered in within the 3 years. Right? That's a lot, y'all, for 3 years. And I heard they want to at least have 50 more before the end of this year. And they still letting them in. These are very dangerous people. But you notice not a mouth is fighting to stop all that the country is giving them. Everything that this country is giving them, not one group of people, not one, not us, but I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about, heathens, Gentiles, Europeans, nan one of them will stand up and say, no, they getting this, or fighting, not like physical fighting, but going to every extent to stop all these funds that they are giving to the migrants. They don't have no problem. Let them give something to Judah. Matthew 24 and verse 7 will kick up from the floor. Nation against nation, meaning people against people. They will war against us if they gave us reparations. Even if they put it before the books, they would war against us if they gave us reparations. To me, when the fathers was saying that to me on the couch, I said that is a level of evil that's off the chain. Because if the migrants that don't live over here is getting millions, and other countries are getting billions, but yet the one that's in this country, you would war to kill them than for them to get anything. And when I heard that, I said, so what does that mean? What it means, you guys, is this. A lot of you all think it might be cute, or it might be something that we are entitled to, and we need to think about fighting for this, and we need to think about getting this, and we entitled, we this, and we that, and we this, and we that. He said, you're going to be cursed coming in and curse going out. When will the curse cease? When you get reparations that break the curse. Why? Because he said the struggle of the captivity, it will be like you won't have. So for you to have, that would be like the curse has been cracked. So what he's saying is, Deuteronomy 28 says, you come in curse and you're going to go out curse. So we're going to go out curse. What does that mean? Same situation when we came in curse. So what does it mean? Because we think that we're going to interfere with Deuteronomy 28 and make something happen, we think it's going to happen, we better be careful. Because the reparations that they came out with, what they were giving them, they didn't have to fight for. They didn't have to go to court. They didn't have to write up papers. They didn't have to have attorneys to fight. They didn't have to wait on them to say, well, yeah, okay, we're going to give them. Oh, no, we ain't giving them nothing. They didn't have to do any of that. Because when y'all spoke it into the people. They gave them. But if we got our mouths thinking we're going to rule this out of the order of the curse itself, then it's going to show us exactly what the reparation is going to start. It will start a racial war in this country. They are not going to let these heathens and Gentiles, especially these Europeans, they are not going to allow Judith to receive anything without them wanting to take them out. They're not going to want it. They're going to fight it all the way. It's not the system. Now watch this here. I'm sitting here saying this to y'all, but I know it's flying over your head. The system, the matrix, the system itself has that in plan. They know that. That's why they gave y'all didn't even catch it. That's why they gave these migrants so much and still giving them. They're giving them a lot, y'all. They wanting to see the reaction of the people. They don't consider us as a people here in this country. So they want to see the reaction of the Gentiles, the heathens, the Europeans. They say the Europeans. They want you to see the reaction. They're trying to see the reaction of them, not you. Same thing with that thing that took place in 2021 and 22. It wasn't the reaction of you. They didn't care. They wanted to see the reaction of a certain people so they can know what step can we take again. Same thing with giving these migrants all of this. Those same people, they was looking for a reaction. They had no reaction at all. Just like that thing that they gave and in 2021 and 22, there was no reaction from them. So now they know how to make the next move. And they are fully aware of what I'm saying to you. Isn't that off the chain how the wicked of the wicked knows the next plan? They want to place that reparation to start the racial war. That's what the system is about. And they going to do it too. They going to put it up. I wouldn't say if it's going to pan out, but I believe they're going to put it forth and they're going to see the reaction of the Europeans and say, okay, now we know how we can get this thing started. Now we know. And I think they know that already. They know that they didn't do it with the immigrants. So they ain't worried. They said, okay, so they didn't do nothing then when we gave them this. That's why do y'all think they keep on saying we giving them this, we giving them this? They trying to get a response for the Europeans because they are the majority. They don't care about us and what we say and what we think. They're talking about those people in their country that would cut up from the floor. So they say, okay, we still giving them, and every time. Do y'all see where they showing you where it says immigrants only, buildings where only immigrants can go in? They doing everything they can to get a reaction from the Europeans so they can know what the next step they can take. But when I can tell you, I can guarantee you're going to see marching like you never seen it before. If they give or put on the books that they are thinking or planning on giving reparations to Judah. And then you're going to see really what this country was always built up of. Because we run our mouth. We talk and what somebody said and what somebody told us, and what somebody taught us and their history and how we are supposed. But we don't understand the level of destruction that has been set for this land. We have no idea. And to get it there, it's going to follow Matthew 24 verse 7, nation against nation. That's why he said, don't worry about wars and wars, y'all. You better be worried about verse 7. Matthew 24 and verse 7. You better be worried about that. Nation against nation, because that means not civil war. A lot of people want to make it about civil war, but it's going to be a racial war, because nation against nation, it is a form of showing you that there's going to be people against people. And like I have explained to several of them, what makes you think that's a fair fight? It's not, child. It's not. That's not a fight. That's not something that Judith would win. It's not something that Judah would win. And that would be the time period of why it would be ASAP for Yah to get his out. He already know it. It ain't something I'm telling you. He knows. See, and you be wondering, well, why are we still here? When is he coming? When is he coming? See, you're going to have to see something. You're going to have to see something. You're going to have to see something, because everybody think this was cotton candy. Ain't nobody seeking to do anything outside of reside here and keep things going the way they like it. But see, so now we're going to have to see something. Okay. And that's what that's going to be about. And the only thing that I think that's, to me, that I'm going to be honest, as a prophetess in the wilderness, as an individual that talk to European men and women that don't have no shame in my game when I'm talking to them, they already know it. And you want me to tell you what they say? They said all they doing is playing us against each other without them understanding that you've been played against us. So don't wait till your country has fallen and say that your country is playing you against us and us against you. No. You've been against us. But now your country is against you. And you want to see it as they playing us against each other, even though they are. They really are, y'all. They really, really, really are. That's what it's all about. That's the next step, y'all. Because that's how they know that if they can get that started, since nobody didn't say nothing about Revelation 18 and 2. Oh, that's all them coming over here, the habitation of devils and foul spirits and unclean birds and hateful birds. Nobody said a mumbling word. Nobody. Even people who in churches who's preaching and teaching. All the pastors and bishops. All the Maureen's and watchmen and seers and so-called prophets and so-called prophetess. Ain't nan one of them on this devil platform saying a word about it. Everybody waiting for the action, y'all. See, that's where I think it's unfair for even we as individuals to be even called. I know I can't do anything against that because Yah has already handpicked his, but I don't see how we are entitled to stand before the Most High Yah as he is. I really don't. I don't. And I'm human too. I don't see, we are nowhere worldly. You say what you want to say. We ain't nowhere worldly to stand before the throne of the Most High Yah or to be in his presence. Oh, no. Hey, we ain't the one, y'all. We ain't the one. But it's what we are to him, not to Deborah. I'm just sitting saying as a servant of the Most High Yah and the one that he has chosen and have taught from my standpoint on the earth and seeing this people, I still can't get with why would he want to have anything to do with us? And that's the truth be told out of what I see on the earth as a servant of the Most High Yah. I do not. I do not. Because he said and he told us, don't be caught up in wars and rumors of wars. In a sense that been going on. Y'all, it's going to be deeper than that. The next verse said what? Nation against nation. We know that we see that already where the nations are going up against each other now. See, y'all don't know that. You can't see where all these European people are killing their families. They're killing their children. Their children are killing their parents. When Judah was already doing that. They don't have nothing in them that can really say, and they're doing it too. No, I'm telling you what I've seen amongst my people that I was sent down here to be in the midst of. I don't have no brownies or nothing that's given to me to try to portray that it's the lie. No, it's the truth. All you have to do is measure what the Father said from the beginning all the way down. Read these same people, and you're going to get the same result. That's why I believe he said he called it a small remnant, to the point where he's willing to go to the dry bones, bring them brothers up from out of the dry bones, the army of David. That's why David is spoken, being in Mount Zion. See, y'all don't get it. David is always spoken about Mount Zion being there. That's because his army is the dry bones. And then he tells us that he's going to take those armies, a multitude of men. That's an army. And you can tell you the way it's talking about it, it's an army that died on the battlefield, that he's going to raise up and take to Mount Zion. While we're there, I don't know if, let me see, I'm going to read on that tomorrow and see if they're going to go before or after. I think they're going to go after we're there. But he already said he's going to bring them. You don't hear nobody preaching it, teaching it, revealing it, expounding on it. You don't have the brothers them breaking it down. No, because they don't want to break nothing down. Because they have lied for so long, they got to keep the lie going the way they want you to believe how things are really going to pan out and how things are. Nobody wants to come back and say, well, wait a minute, y'all, we need to get this thing right. We in the midnight hour and we about to get up out of here. Let's tell the people the truth. They ain't gonna do it. They ain't gonna do it. So what happens is Yah is gonna allow everything to walk itself out so that we can see it, to where it ain't gonna be nobody saying, okay, this. No, you're gonna see it for your own eyes. This brother, he was talking yesterday, and he said a lot of these people ain't gonna know they left from their right once these websites, the internet is shut down. He was saying how people gonna be doing all kind of things because they so used to coming onto these platforms thinking they getting answers and they getting the truth. And he said they not getting the truth, but it's okay. If that's all that they are made up of and that's what they want to believe, let them believe it. It's going back to that give and give. Give them what they want to get, what they want to have. Give it to them. Let them have it. And let them go ahead on. Because they ain't going to settle for nothing else but what they want. So let them have it. Give it to them. So he was real, and he was saying a lot of good. As a matter of fact, that's what I'm going to listen to tonight, because I didn't finish his video. I didn't even finish it, but he was saying so many good things on there. And I was like, wow, I like that. I like that. And what I'm starting to hear is some of our men in Judah pulling up, speaking some truth, and that really is good, because especially this one Muslim guy, with Muhammad them, this Muslim guy. Oh man, I don't know what to do about him. I don't know how he got wrapped up in Muslim and how he got wrapped up in that. And he's saying that Elijah Muhammad said this and he said this and he said that. And I'm saying, he said stuff like that. He said stuff like that. That's what I was saying, just because they're showing you that the way the Father is coming in, it's not through race, y'all. He's not coming in through the race. He ain't playing the race cards, okay? He ain't playing the denomination. He ain't playing the Hebrew Israelite movement. He ain't playing. Y'all ain't gonna get caught up in all of that. All it's gonna be is righteous and truth. He ain't gonna be caught up in all that playing with us, because that's what we want. We want him to play with us with all this trash and think he should get in the trash and play with us. No, he ain't got time for that. We've been wobbling in this trash for too long and still think we got it going on. And it's and all it is trash. He ain't finna do that. He ain't gonna do it. That's why he said he finished. He's done with it. He's not gonna be about that, because it's really where we are at, you would think that we will be turning more so to wanting and desiring to move forward in that the things that showed us and give us even the hope that there's light on the other side, or the other side, as far as us making it to Mount Zion. But what we're doing is we just already then took ourselves there. That's what I see. I'm just telling I see us already thinking we already got, and I'm the last person gonna say that. I ain't finna tell you I'm there already. Not after what he done shown me and know I got to see some more. I ain't there yet. Only time I'm gonna be there is when he get me there. That's if it's his will that I make it there. And if it's not, it's all right with me. Okay? So what I'm saying is nobody is focusing on the fruit, the seed, and how we are dispersing the seed. If the seed is the word, how we are dispersing the word, which is Yah seed. How we planting these seeds, how we putting this word out here that comes from Yah. They not even caring about that. That don't mean nothing. Because once I got a hold 3 years ago, and I saw that nobody was seeing Deuteronomy 28 as an end game. How do we get to where we use Deuteronomy 28, but didn't get the fullness of the end game of it? I had gotten in it to the point where it was telling me, where you see right here where it says, and you gonna go mad for with the sight you gonna see. This is why I'm telling y'all, we didn't took our ourselves already to the promised land. What is he saying to Sister Deborah? You gonna go mad for the sight of what you gonna see. He's talking to one that is of him. You're going to go mad for what you're going to see. You think he's telling you that you're going to go mad for what you... No, he's talking to his elects. You're going to go mad for what you're going to see. So do I have to see something so I can go mad? Yes. That's why I'm not placing myself somewhere already. And I know I still got to go through my father's journey. No. But I know I ain't going alone. I know he on every side. That's what makes it so beautiful. But I ain't going to just skip over everything and try to paint a beautiful picture to everybody that, oh, hey, it's like this and it's like that. And I already know that wicked and evil and the judgment of Yah and his wrath and his fire is right before the people, and they can't even see it. So the only thing has to happen now is he got to turn that bad boy up. He got to turn that bad boy up. So not only can they see it, but they can feel it. Because he already said in Deuteronomy that you're going to go mad, Deborah, at the sight that you're going to see. Said it again, I think it's 67. You're going to grow mad at the sight of what you're going to see. So you mean to tell me I'm going to have to see something? Oh, baby, it ain't over till it's over. They just think it's over. Because they think they have awakened to the fact. And that awakening alone made it over for them. Because they really think that. But he said, no, It's things you're going to see. And that's why it's so important to get spirit and truth and have the light in your right hand and your spiritual backpack. Because those are the things that's going to take you through. Where ain't nothing going to be able to affect you in any great number on your left or your right and in the back and in front. What do you mean, Deborah? Because it's going to always give you the assurance that you're going to be okay. It's going to give you the insurance that you're going to be okay. You're going to think back when this is what he said that's going to happen. I remember hearing this. I remember understanding this. These things need be. You're going to start to say these things need be. All this stuff that's going, oh, yeah, these things need be. This is what he said that shall, you know what I'm saying? This is how these things, did you know the Ruach, the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, he is also the one that bring things back to your remembrance. Why would you have to have that spirit? That spirit of Yah going to bring things back to your remembrance. Why? Because a lot of us have done away with a lot of things that we've been taught. Because we think Oh, when we'll brush it off, it don't mean anything. Ain't nothing really gonna happen. Oh, these things is not gonna take place. Oh, it looks like everything's okay. Yeah. But then the ruach is there's a in the ruach is that which bring things back to your remembrance. Only thing it brings back to your remembrance is the seed that has been implanted in you. That's what the Ruach HaKodesh come to do. It's a comforter. It's a teacher that teach you all things. It's one that show you things to come. And it is a revealer and one to bring things back to your remembrance in one. That's what it does. When all that stuff that Yeshua taught all those disciples. And did you all know that they never did really believe? They really didn't have that real belief until the Ruach came. And when that Ruach came, it came to bring what? Everything Yeshua taught them. Bring it back unto them. And that's how they're able to be successful, leaving us everything they left us. It's because when the Ruach came in them, it brought everything back to their remembrance, what the Yeshua had taught them. And when that Ruach come back, it locks everything back into their remembrance. And what is that? Spirit and truth. So when you're wondering why Sister Deborah says spirit and truth and the light in the right hand, these are spiritual things that the Ruach will come and bring back to your remembrance what you were taught, what you were warned, just as the disciples. Because I'm going to tell you, Doubting Thomas, you know, when the last time he ascended up and them two angels asked him, what are y'all looking at? Why are y'all gazing at him as if he's not going to return? Because they had that doubt. They didn't, it's a lot of things they did not believe, y'all. And just imagine they were there. Miracles, sometimes, and wonder. But it's a lot of things they didn't believe. But when that Ruach HaKodesh showed up, it brought everything back to their remembrance. And that's when Sister Deborah is saying to you, spirit and truth, the light. Spirit and truth, the light. Get that backpack. That's a spiritual thing. Get this information. Now, if you didn't get it and you don't get it and you might not understand it, you might not even believe it. But when that Ruach comes, it's going to bring everything back to your remembrance. So if you be the ones that goes on the journey, guess what? You're going to be the one that speaks to them. You ain't going to have no Bible in your left hand. You ain't going to have no precepts. You ain't going to have none of that. You ain't going to be quoting John this or Matthew this. You're going to speak the word because it already was seed planted in you. See, a lot of us think it's just me want to sit up here and listen to that old hen. Or it's just me coming on here because I ain't got nothing to do and I can just sit here and listen to her. Or it's just me that believe in her and I just think she's a little bit of cuckoo clock, but she's okay. But I just like to listen to her because she be sounding silly. All these things. But guess what? When that Ruach pull up, it's going to bring the things Sister Deborah have implanted into you all. I even look at the level of support that heavens already have rewarded me for. You see? Because you all don't get that this sister ain't really giving y'all the world. She ain't trying to feed y'all a bunch of things that's in the world. She's giving you strictly the things you're going to need for the journey. And it's not things that you're going to leave behind. It's things that's going to be in you. So when you take off, you're going to have everything there to refer to already in you. And if it's not in you, the Ruach HaKodesh is going to bring it back to your remembrance. All the things that he wants you to feed on from the seed that was planted in you. because I think, I'm not for sure, I'm gonna have to read up on it. The journey is supposed to be 3 years and a half, something like that. I think they said the journey is supposed to be 3.5 years. I don't know. Because I just don't want people really thinking they just gonna come from A to Z. Oh no, baby. Uh-uh. We ain't entitled to that. Like I try to tell y'all, we ain't entitled. We ain't worthy to receive a blessing like that. And I don't know where in our mind that people have manipulated us and deceived us that we are entitled to the best of the best journey going. You know, oh no, baby. And I'm gonna go into and I go into it. I heard somebody teaching it. Is it Jeremiah chapter 10 or Isaiah or Ezekiel? It's breaking down the journey to the promised land, to Mount Zion. I said, I'm definitely going to, I think that's what I talk about tomorrow. So I, Sister Deborah, appreciate each and every last one of you all tuning in. I appreciate you all. And I said, I hope you got something out of it. And I know I came a little late, but I still appreciate you. And I say, I have a wonderful night. Shalom and shalom.